Since our video came out discussing compounding interest, the feedback has blown us away. People clearly clicked to the three main killers of compounding interest. Awesome! Knowing just one of those could be the difference between achieving financial independence or not, so if you haven't seen that one, definitely check it out. Having said that, there were still common questions that we would get, going something like, how do we set up compounding though? Where can I go to get it? Do I need a broker to set it up for me? Okay team, so the job is not quite done. Luckily, we've discovered a clever new way of thinking about investing that we're going to show you in this video using a kind of strange example. Most people understand what a side hustle is, but could you use a side hustle to ensure your future financial independence? What we will see is that the magic of compounding interest is a wide-reaching idea that can work in unexpected ways. Before we get into it though, again, what is compounding interest? From Investopedia, compounding is a process whereby interest is credited to an existing principal amount as well as to interest already paid. Principal is the part of the investment that you put in, for example, starting a savings account or investment portfolio with $500. Compounding happens after we get a return on our investment, for example, interest on a savings account, or for an investment portfolio, it might just have gone up in value. Then we leave this payment in the account / choose not to sell the gains. This stage is called reinvestment, which will be important in our example later on. And then at the end of next year, if we get the same percentage return as last time, that comes on top of our principal, the $500, but also on the part that came from interest. Interest on interest. We'll probably contribute more principal each year, but in the end, most of the work is done by the compounding interest. Hopefully you can see that nothing needs to be set up here. All that's necessary is that the interest or return is reinvested. In a traditional bank account or investment portfolio, this happens automatically. Just one more thing. The expected percentage return of the reinvestment must be the same as the original. That doesn't mean that the return necessarily needs to be the same each year. It's more just that our chances of getting that return stay the same with the extra dollars in the account. This will all make a lot of sense in the example we're about to see. We'll be using a bit of compounding interest magic on income from a side hustle, and I promise this will change the way you think about investing and money. A friend of mine who watched our compounding interest video said to me, yeah, I get the point about needing to get up around a 10% return, but that stock market stuff doesn't sound that exciting to me when I can get a 100% return in 2 years selling sheep on my farm. Fair enough. Afterwards, I thought though, what an awesome little example to tell a story about compounding interest. We now know that in order to achieve compounding, we need to reinvest our returns. In the sheep example, this would mean that when my friend sells his sheep after 2 years, he would need to take all of the proceeds and use them to buy more sheep, then continue this process until he's ready to retire. Doing this, we can see that the returns are amazing. Under this compounding approach, my friend takes his $500 and turns it into $262 million after 40 years. Not bad. Compared to this, a $500 investment portfolio returning $20k over the same time horizon looks like basically a flat line by comparison. His operations do grow to be quite substantial though, ending up with 1,048,000 sheep. Pretty standard for a Kiwi, I hear someone in the comment section already. Now this looks really impressive, but in reality, economics would say that at some point we will hit diminishing marginal return. What this means is that, let's say for example, that every additional sheep we buy is just 0.1% less profitable. Eventually, we hit a point where the benefit of increasing the size of our farm by one more sheep reaches zero, and as we are not able to reinvest our returns, the process of compounding breaks down. This will never be the case for savers or normal investors invested into liquid investment assets such as stock market index ETFs. At the institutional scale of investing in the hundreds of millions and billions of dollars, this is not always the case, but for us it definitely is. It's most obvious in the savings account example. The bank is clearly going to be equally happy with every dollar that you give it. Just like a $1 trillion company won't be too bothered if you want to buy or sell a few $1 million worth of its shares. Some of the more practically minded people might have noticed another problem with the sheep example, and that is time, or more specifically, opportunity cost. Time spent in buying, managing, and selling hundreds of thousands of sheep would be non-trivial for sure. Here's where we're going to flip the side hustle versus investing thing completely on its head. Let's say that instead of trying to compound the sheep, that we only reinvest half of the proceeds into sheep, and the rest into an investment portfolio that we match with a cash contribution from our main hustle. While it doesn't take off quite as quickly, over time we can reach roughly the same return as we would have going all in on this sheep side hustle with just two in the power of compounding interest.
Hi, I'm Bilal.
And I'm Bevan.
We are the team from the Massey University Investment Room at Palmerston North.
We hope you enjoyed this episode and that it helps you on your journey towards financial well-being. Please give the video a like, leave us a comment and subscribe to our channel, and you can also find us on Facebook and Twitter for more financial capability content.